decided to switch gears a bit and work on this generator, taking a break from the XR100 project. I wanted to try and get back to the old Earthmaster tractor project, but still don't have a valve keeper for that. I want to make a decision on this generator that I picked up, because if it's no good and I'm going to strip it down, I'm going to see whether or not it's got keepers that will fit or that I can use in that tractor. So I got this for free. Basically, a guy was cleaning out his garage, and I ended up getting a couple of lawnmowers that might be fixable, or repairable I should say, and this generator. He said this generator just stopped working abruptly, and that was the end of it. Check the oil level. Oil's clean, oil level's good, but probably has a snapped connecting rod, because when I first got it, I pulled on the pull start here, and it moved about a quarter of a turn and then stopped dead, and it's really stuck. So that's why I think it's got a broken connecting rod, which I'm not going to bother repairing if that's what it is, but I'm going to have to dismantle it anyways. Not sure what vintage this generator is. It's a Coleman Power Mate Maxa model PM52-4000. No date of manufacture on that. Motor doesn't look too old. It's got a plastic gas tank on it. It's got this kind of neat foam vent deal, which makes me think that it's not ancient. So I'm thinking it's got to be 1980s or newer. The other reason I got it was because he had mounted it using hose clamps on an almost brand new hand truck, and I was like, well, if nothing else, I'll get a hand truck out of this thing. Not to mention the scrap metal value of what might be in here, or parts value. The generator head's probably still good. So I'm going to start by taking this recoil housing off. Boy, this looked pretty clean on the outside, but once I get the cover off, it looks like this has been exposed to the elements for a while. The cover looks pretty clean. Look at this, it's got the cast iron sleeve. 8 horsepower, made in the good old US of A. Too bad Tecumseh's out of business now. Well, gee, think you might have a no spark situation. Even if I could get this thing to turn over, it's completely rusted. Boy, wouldn't that be great if that's what that's sticking on? If it's not seized up and it's just a matter of the I think I'll take these bolts out here and take the coil off. You gotta love it. That sure don't sound like it's got a broken connecting rod. Actually, I can hear what sounds like compression. Nice. I guess what I'm gonna do is I'll take this gas tank off so I can get in there with my wire brush, rotary wire brush attachment, and clean the rust off of this flywheel. Alright, tank's out of the way. Let's clean it up. Alright, cleaned up nice. And going to now take the ignition coil down and give that a quick whiz on the bench wire wheel. Okay, this is what this looks like cleaned up. So now I'm going to remount this back into position. Alright, so now I leave the screws loose, and right now the magnet's actually pulling this right down onto it. So I'm going to put a feeler gauge right in between there, and then snug up that screw, and then rotate this over between this side and the magnet and snug up that screw. Alright, so now I've remounted this. The clearance I set this gap for is 24 thousandths, which is my largest feeler gauge in this set. And that might be excessive, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure what it's supposed to be set at, but I've heard stories of people using matchbook covers, that thin piece of cardboard on a matchbook cover, to set this, so I'm not too worried about that. So now if I give this a quick spin past here, I might be able to actually even get a spark to jump across. Well, maybe from here to ground, to see if I've got any spark. With this frame in the way, it's kind of hard to get that to give give that thing a good spin by hand. So I decided to just put the starter, the recoil assembly back on, and what the heck, I'll give it a try. I already gave it a spin and I don't hear any horrible noises, so that's a good sign. The gas doesn't even seem to be very stale. It smells like pretty fresh gas that's in there, so I'll give it a shot. Let's see, it looks like let's see. Looks like this is choke. The arrow pointing that way, so that must be the choke full on. I didn't see any shut off on the gas tank, so I guess they're relying on just the float bowl will do that for you. Let's see what happens. Well, that's a drawback to having that on that frame. I gave it several good pulls and I still didn't get any so much as a sputter out of it, so I'm going to pull the plug, take a look at the condition of the plug, also see if I can't determine if I've got spark. Pulled the plug, made an interesting discovery. It's a brand new spark plug. I mean, this engine's never been run with this plug in there. So I think probably when this engine died, the homeowner decided to try a new spark plug, and when that didn't work, I think he gave up. But this plug has seen no evidence of seeing any fuel or any ignition. So let's see if we get any spark. Okay, I'm getting good spark. Might be hard to see it in the sunlight, but I definitely can hear it. Nice good spark. If I put my finger in the spark plug hole and pull it, I can feel compression. Not a really official test, but any compression with fuel and spark, it should pop. So I've got a fuel delivery problem. So I'm going to try a little bit of gas down the spark plug hole and see whether or not that's enough of a start to maybe start drawing some fuel. If that doesn't work, then I'll have to look at my carburetor. Alright, let's see. Ah, there we go. Something. Alright, it probably just burned off the fuel that I poured down the spark plug, and that it died, so I'm gonna have to see what's going on with the carburetor.